To fully get started in Forbidden Arcanus, we need to build a Hephaestus Forge, which is this behind me. So, basically, what we're going to do is make this shape with mostly polished dark stone. I'm just going to pause there for a second in case you want to pause the video. The ones we're using are polished dark stone, gilded chiseled polished dark stone, which goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So where the four sides are, but there's 3 length, you put 1 inside and then go left 2, up, and then in the middle again, and then left 2, up, like that. Right in the middle is another one, gilded, chiseled, polished dark stone. And then we have 4 chiseled arcane polished dark stone around it. And you put a smithing table in the middle. If you're not sure how to get these items, you basically just need your polished dark stone and diorum ingots, which is going to be some munda patir dust, charcoal, and arcane crystal dust. Once you have it all, we're going to get our munda patir dust, and we're going to hit the smithing table in the middle. A bolt of lightning will hit it, and it will turn into the Hephaestus Forge. Then we're going to get some dark stone pedestals, and we're going to place them on the outside gilded ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just like that. And your Hephaestus Forge is now complete. If we actually right-click on the Hephaestus Forge, you can see there's quite an intricate-looking UI in the center. And we're going to need 4 main ingredients to get this going. I'm specifically talking here about the bars: Auriel, Souls, Blood, and Experience. We can put our X-Petrified orbs in for the Experience one. And I can put this in this right bottom slot here. I just used 4 of these, and you can see how much it's filled it up. So I could get a 16 stack and plop that in this bottom right-hand corner here. And you can see it says Experience from our dark black holes. For souls, we are, of course, going to be using our souls that we've gotten. And you can put that in the bottom right, left-hand slot here. And that will fill up the soul one. For Auriel bottles, you can use Potion of Regeneration 2, surrounded by arcane crystal dust. And that goes in the top left slot here, filling up this one. Now, there is an easier way to do this with Auriel. What we can do is get arcane crystal blocks, so just 9 arcane crystals, get 2 of them, and we can take a arcane polished dark stone. And where these pedestals are, I can just take one off, and I can go polish dark stone, and then 1, 2 with my arcane crystal blocks, and hit it with a munda patir dust, and it will turn it into an arcane crystal obelisk, which will passively give your forge Auriel. Okay? The last item we're going to need here is blood. There's a few ways to get blood. There are these items here called test tubes, which just needs a rune, which remember you would have been mining up, and a glass bottle. Test tubes, what you want to do with these is hold them in your offhand, like this, when you are killing mobs. So when I kill some mobs, let's get some zombies, you can see that there's now some blood in the test tube. You can also just kill mobs near the forge, and you will also get blood this way. So if I have a zombie here, and I just kill it, any old mob near or on the forge. Oh, there's a corrupt soul. What you should see is that a little bit of blood has now gone into the forge. So it's up to you which is easier, using the test tubes or just using killing mobs nearby. As you can see, 1 test tube will give it quite a fair amount of blood into the Hephaestus Forge. Once you've built it, of course, you may actually want to do some rituals with it and, actually use the Hephaestus Forge that you have made. So if you actually go into JEI or whatever you're using and press U on Hephaestus Forge, you can see what you can make. The first one shows you actually the upgrade chain of getting it from tier 1 to tier 5. And the second tab here shows you all of the items you can make with it. I, for example, am using this in ATM 10. And you use it for a lot of all the modium, but you can use it for a lot of different things depending on your mod pack, etc. One of the first things I'm going to show you that we can make, for example, just as a literal example on how to use rituals, is the quantum catcher. So when we look in JEI here, we can see a few things. One, we see the central item being the quantum core, needing some Mundabatir dust, rune, and flint. Very easy to make that quantum core. And then some spawner scraps. These are made by mining without silk touch, so you do actually want to break a spawner. So literally mine a spawner and you will get spawner scraps. Down here it shows you that we need 200 Oriel, 5 souls, 1200 blood and 155 experience. So you know down here how much of each item you will actually need. As an FYI, you should be able to actually put experience in here via things like Bottle of Enchanting, but the best way is going to be X-Petrified Orbs by far. And then it shows you the item you need to put in the middle and the items around. So for this, it was the core, the quantum core. So for that is going to be this item slot here in the center of your Hephaestus Forge. So we could just pop that in there and you can see it. And then for the spawner scraps, oh my gosh, this Wandering Trader is driving me nuts. They always do when I'm filming these tutorials. They literally drive me crazy. There we go. And for the rest of it, you're going to put it on the pedestals around it. And we know that we need 4 scraps, so I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll see it light up because it is a correct ritual, so you know you've done it correctly. Then you need 1 more item to finish it off, and that is going to be a gavel. You can make to make a blacksmith gavel head, you can make it out of clay here, and then you literally will use, wood, iron, diamond, etc. with some sticks, the gavel head to make your gavel. Get your gavel and just right-click the Hephaestus Forge, and as you can see, all of the items start going into it, and there you go. The ritual is complete, and that is how you use the Hephaestus Forge in Forbidden Arcanus. It does take a while. I was sat here thinking, gosh, have I done this right or what? But I had. It just takes about 30 seconds or so for this ritual. I don't know if different rituals have different time speeds, or if they all take the same amount of time, but there you go. All that yapping, and we now have our quantum catcher. If you're wondering what the quantum catcher does, just as an example, you can right-click on a mob and it will catch it. However, you will need Oriel in your inventory in order to do so. The higher the health of the mob, the higher the amount of Oriel you need. The lower the health, the lower amount of Oriel you will need in your inventory. But you right-click a mob with it and it catches them. You right-click it again and it frees the mob. But that is how you do rituals. So what you will also notice in the Forge is that there's 4 slots here, unlocked at Tier 2, Tier 3 and Tier 4. And these are basically what you could call upgrade slots, I suppose. The first thing you want to get is an Elementarium, which allows the creation of elemental items. You can find this in jungle temples, desert pyramids and underwater ruins. You can make more of them at Tier 3, as you can see here. And you plop this into the first slot here. And what that will allow you to make is a fire, what are they called? Prism. A smelter prism. So when we look at the recipe here, you can see, 4 blaze powder, 2 coal, an arcane crystal block in the middle, and obviously how much of each it needs. But you will see it needs an Elementium Enhancer relic on the left. So that's where you put these relics if you get them. There is also a Whirlwind prism, but you can see it needs a Tier 3, a Terror Stomp prism, but it needs a Tier 2, and a Sea Prism, which needs a Tier 3. So once you've got all the correct items in place, again, you can just right-click with your gravel and it will go in there as long as you have the Enhancer Relic in there.